Everything's ready. Finally, when I connect these, the world will never be the same. People will beat a path to my door. Steady. Here we go. Huh? I guess it's back to the drawing board. Or maybe it's just...
Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Science rules.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Inertia is a property of matter.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
T minus 7 seconds.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Brought to you by the television. If it hadn't been invented, we'd all be doing something else right now.
You're watching TV, and I'm talking to a camera, and we're all wearing clothes.
I'm not.
Well, most of us, anyway. They're inventions. Think about it. Just about everything in the room you're sitting in, everything you handle every day, was invented by people like you and me. That's what humans do. We invent things. We've been doing it for as long as there have been humans. Without inventions, most of us couldn't survive, and our lives would be totally different. All my life, I've peeled bananas with my hands, but I had this idea. Maybe there's a better way. So here's what I'm trying to accomplish. Here's a banana, and here is a peeled banana. So how could I make that happen? Well, I thought maybe if I spun the banana. So I got this drawing together here, see? I mount the banana on a motor. Then the spin will use the banana's own weight to make it peel. And I made this machine, the spin peeler. All you do is take a banana and cut the end off, like this. Then you put the banana in here and secure it with this locking ring. This is still in development, so I wear these. Ready? Here we go. Peel. Well, I mean, there were some obvious problems. Doesn't work. See, this was too ambitious. I had too much power. It was a failure. So what I'm going to do is go back to the drawing board. See, inventing is a process. Banana. Peeled banana. Hi, Mr. Jackson. You're getting ready for an aerodynamic adventure, aren't you?
You're talking about the dimples on the golf ball, aren't you, Bill?
Yeah, they help the ball go farther.
It raises the Reynolds number by effectively increasing the characteristic length of the airflow over the ball. It's quite an invention.
Sure enough. Yeah, they make the boundary layer thinner. Somebody thought of that. It's pretty cool, huh?
In golf, Bill, one generally keeps one's thoughts to oneself. It's a tradition.
So you're saying it's a tradition, not just something that you invented?
Bill.
The march of progress!
While at the throttle, controlling the wheels of our destiny, is a spirit encouraging ever greater progress. Efforts on farming, a way of life that is edifying and lifting.
Banana. Peeled banana. So my first idea, the spin peeler, didn't work so well. It had some obvious flaws. So I went back to the drawing board, and it hit me. Instead of making the banana spin, what I need to do is make the invention spin. So I made this drawing, and from this, I built this machine, the rotopeeler. See this blade? It spins. So all you do is take a banana, you don't need to cut the end off, and fit it onto the rotopeeler, and then let her go. Now, I admit this might not be the kind of banana you'd want to put on your cereal. Didn't work. It was a failure. But we're getting there. See? Inventing's a process. I'm going back to the drawing board. Banana. Peeled banana.
Welcome to another episode of
Accidental Inventions!
In the 1930s, a woman in Massachusetts named Ruth Wakefield ran out of powdered chocolate for her cookies. So, she broke up a chocolate bar and dumped the pieces in the batter. She thought the chocolate would melt and mix right through. The chocolate chips stayed separate. Ruth Wakefield had just invented the chocolate chip cookie by accident.
Accidental Inventions!
Banana. Peeled banana. Well, spinning the banana didn't work. Spinning something inside the banana didn't work, liquefied the product. But now I think I've got it. Peeled banana. Yes! A real solution to the problem. Ladies and gentlemen, the pièce de résistance. Here it is. The pocket peeler of science. All you do is take an ordinary banana, and cut the end off, then push it right through the pocket peeler. The peel comes right off, and the banana goes into the bowl. Voila! Isn't that exciting? Success! You see, inventing is a process. If you don't get it right the first time, you don't give up, you just keep going. Success! Failure. Failure. Success! I think I'm gonna go and have a banana milkshake.
When you invent, it's really the idea that counts, not necessarily what it's made of, or even if it works. It's a door-matic oven, and you slide the door under the oven like this, so when you reach in, you don't burn yourself on the door.
We need inventions to really solve problems.
This is my invention called the Hassimeter. This has microbes in it that are especially made for eating hazardous waste. The good thing about inventing is that you can make up your own ideas and you don't have to follow anyone else's rules.
This is my invention. It's a new kind of fishing hook. When the fish bite, at least one of the hooks will unhook, catching onto the fish. But unless the fish has bitten, the hooks will not catch onto debris or anything else.
Inventions usually don't work the first time. Please consider the following. I don't know about you, but when I think of an invention, I think of a light bulb. Now, light bulbs are all over the place these days, but they weren't until they were invented. See, people realized that they could get light from electricity when they saw lightning, or when they made sparks with a machine like this one. They're sparks, all right, but they're a little bit hard to control, and they're a little bit dangerous. Edison had the idea, what seems obvious now, of containing the sparks in a glass bulb. He also had the idea of running electricity through a fiber or a filament. The filament would glow, and that would give off light. But the filament would burn up until Edison realized he could put it in a vacuum where there's no air. And he tried all kinds of different materials for his filaments. And they say he tried over 300 things. And someone said to him, well, Mr. Edison, you've gotten nowhere. And Edison said, what do you mean? I found 300 things that won't work. Anyway, Edison, working with a guy named Lewis Latimer, came up with a filament that would work. It was a baked cotton fiber. So they put their fiber in a glass bulb, and to keep it from burning up, they pumped all the air out. They made a vacuum. Then they ran electricity through the wire. See, it's giving off light. But you can see here in the lab, our vacuum pump isn't quite good enough. The filament is starting to burn up. Now, Edison's invention wasn't perfect. There were still a lot of improvements to be made. But that's the way it is with inventions. One invention leads to another. Well, thank you for joining me on...
Here's a cool invention you can do at home, especially if you're interested in getting the maximum amount of bubbles per breath. Now all you have to do is cut a hole in the side of a milk carton, like this. Then get a part of a wire hanger and bend it into a crank, like this. Now thread the crank through a cork and attach some bubble rings. Pipe cleaners usually work pretty good. Now attach your crank to your milk carton using paper clips and the little fastener things. Okay, so now you're set to go. All you need now is some soapy water, and the best soap mixture is about 10 parts water to 1 part dish soap. And if you want your bubbles to last really long, then you probably want to add some glycerin. Now turn your crank and blow. It broke. Now turn your handle and blow. Just give me a sec. I'm gonna work on this and I'll be right back. Yeah. Okay, I got it. When you cut the hole out of the side of the carton, make sure that you leave one edge attached. Then fold the flap in half and attach it with a pipe cleaner, like this. Then poke a hole through both layers of the carton. Make sure that the straw lines up with the little bubble rings. Now blow through the straw and turn the crank. So, if your invention doesn't work at first, don't come crying to me. I mean, it's inventing, and inventing is a process, so it takes time.
Inventors wanted to fly like birds. The first thing to figure out, how to make wings. The Wright brothers studied other people's work. And they built a plane that could fly too, but they could also control it. For the first time, they could not only fly, they could steer. And you've got to be able to do that. Then you could add an engine. See, you didn't have to invent the engine, someone else did that. You just bolted it on. Carefully. Then they made thousands of other improvements. Better means of propulsion. Lighter and stronger. Smoother. More power. See, there are thousands of inventions working together to make airplanes fly farther, faster, higher, and better. And it's not going to stop. There's a lot more improvements that can be made. Thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of inventions yet to come. And things will be new and cool. Maybe you'll be the inventor that comes up with a whole new way to fly.
Inventions are based on discoveries.
Discovery!
Round objects roll downhill.
Invention.
The wheel.
Discovery.
Human bodies can become resistant to disease.
Invention.
Vaccines.
Discovery.
Evaporating liquids cool things off.
Invention.
The refrigerator.
Discovery.
Some radio waves make water get warm.
Invention.
The microwave oven.
Discovery.
An evacuated cylinder allows liquids to be influenced by barometric pressure.
Invention.
The drinking straw.
The remote control.
In 1970, Spencer Silver was trying to create the strongest superglue in the world. One day, he thought he was onto something. You see, Spencer Silver had unknowingly invented the glue for the sticky note.
Accidental inventions.
And how did he do it?
By accident.
Thousands of years ago, someone, we're not sure who, wanted to poke a hole in something. He or she probably took a sharp rock like this one and pushed on it.
That's got to be effective.
Maybe to push on it harder, they might have used a hammer. Well, about 3,000 years ago, people discovered that twisting the sharp edge made it much more effective as a drill. So we came up with ways to make the sharp edge twist fast, like this. Yeah. And then they came up with ways to make it twist really fast. See, that works okay. But about 300 years ago, we came up with gears to make the sharp metal drill bit edges turn quickly, like this. Yeah, see? One of the problems with this type of drill is you have to push down.
Yeah.
It gets stuck. So people came up with this drill, and it twists as you push. Then less than 100 years ago, people came up with ways to make electric motors and attach them to the spinning drill bit. And that works great.
We about done here?
And now, they're cordless.
Guess not.
So, the various shapes of drill bits and the way to power them have changed a lot over the centuries. But the basic idea of the invention is the same, a twisting sharp edge. Now they work great. Oh man, see, that's what happens when...
This is my home. I call it the Castle of Chaos. Inventions really shape our lives in many cases. I've retrofitted this keyboard. All these key switches are with my thumbs. I can get my work done while I'm exercising. I beg your pardon? The organ, there are levers both sides of both legs. And by moving my arms and my shoulder, I control electric eyes. And it makes very wild sounds. Right now, it's not functioning. I've got to dig into it. And here's an invention I did, well, maybe 30, 40 years ago when I first built my arc welder. See, there's a lever underneath my chin, and I can swing those up so I can see to chip the slag. I don't have to tip the thing up. So when I put this on, sometimes people think everything has been invented, but it certainly hasn't. And there are any number of things that are just lying there waiting for somebody with a curious mind to come up with.
Banana. Peeled banana. When I was a kid, I knew there were monsters under the bed and in the closet. Now, I admit I never saw them, but that doesn't mean they weren't there. So I didn't take any chances. I made sure I kept the light on until I was safely under the covers. See, monsters do not like light. No! So I rigged up this invention. It's a remote control. I could get under the covers and then turn off the light. Am I scaring you?
Party people in the house, I'm here to rock and rap on the microphone. And welcome everybody to come to the Invention Zone. The Invention Zone is a state of mind where your thinking gets creative. And then you'll start inventing and you'll feel invigorated. Just throw your hands in the air and grab the light bulb up there. If you know Edison invented it, everybody shout, oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! And maybe you are wondering who invented the telephone. It's Alexander Graham Bell. His name is very well known. So next time you are in a jam with a problem all your own, then you might want to take a trip into the Invention Zone.
My first attempt was unsuccessful. But true inventors never give up. Just needed more power is all. Here we go. Oh.
Well, that's our show. Thanks for watching. If you'll excuse me. If you'll just excuse me.
Produced in association with the National Science Foundation.
2,000 years ago, the Romans used small sticks to clean their teeth. About 900 years ago, the Chinese invented a toothbrush with bristles made from hair. But inventors didn't stop there. No way. Now we have toothbrushes with soft nylon bristles, and we even invented some that are bent so that it's easier to reach our back teeth. Check out this invention.
See, monsters do not like light. No! Also, as you probably know, monsters can't get you once you're under the covers. That is a fact. So, I rigged up this invention.